Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga for First Responders. Great to have you here. Today's focus, we're going to do a little bit of balance. We're going to have some fun. Balance is one of those things that changes every time we do it. So just depending on lots of things, depending on your day, depending on what's on your mind, maybe your workout the day before, maybe you're just stressed or not stressed, or whatever it might be, that oftentimes affects our balance. So be kind to yourself, as we play around with some of these different balancing movements and things like that. If you're wobbly or shaky or falling, that's totally okay. Just the more you do it, like everything, then the more steady you'll become. But it's also one of those things that it's just interesting to see, how it differs from day to day or each time that you do it. So, but first let's warm up the body a little bit. So we'll begin standing. Also as well, if you want to set up your space near a wall or even a chair, something nearby, especially if you know balance is something you might struggle with, it's always great to have something that you can just reach out for to hold on to if needed as we move into that. So as you find your space, go ahead and we're first going to begin with the feet. Just move those feet around a little bit. Maybe try lifting up onto those toes, or maybe you try balancing on the heels for a second as you lift the toes off the floor. You might hear a few snap, crackle, pops as we start to wake up the feet and the ankles. Each time you lift those toes though, try to create a little bit more space in between each one of those toes. Even if it doesn't literally happen, just try to think about creating a little bit more space, a little bit more surface area. And as you bring these feet back to center, let's try rolling onto the outer edges of the feet and then onto the inner edges of the feet. And just go side to side a few times that way. Noticing one direction might be a little more comfortable than the other. Again, we're just waking up those ankles, the toes, the bottom of the feet, because our legs, of course, play a big role in everyday life, but also in our balance. This is also great to do just, before you work out, go for a run, whatever it might be. All right, go ahead and come back to center. We'll bring both feet to the floor. We're just going to lift our right heel off the floor though for a moment, coming up onto the ball of the foot or the pad of the foot. And then just very slowly, we're going to roll across the pad of the foot. So just kind of starting or guiding that movement with your knee, going down into the ankle and then also into the pad of the foot. And just really trying to ground down as you roll across side to side. Just a few more times on this foot. You might even feel little hard spots, hard little crystals underneath the foot as you do so. We're just helping to break those up. And then go ahead and lower that heel down, and let's try the other foot. Just a few breaths here as you start to move through the knee, through the ankle, and across the pad of the foot. Okay, and then go ahead and bring that foot back to center. We'll just bring both feet to the floor. Maybe shake out those legs a little bit, shake out those arms a little bit. And then let's take a big shoulder roll, maybe a couple shoulder rolls, just up and back. And then just pausing whenever those shoulders get down the back. Let's reach down through those fingertips, lift tall through the crown of the head. Just take a moment here, maybe close those eyes, maybe just look down at the floor, whatever you feel more comfortable with. But again, bringing awareness back to those feet, feeling them connected with the ground below you. Not only in balance, but anytime we are standing, we want to think about rooting down. We want to root down as we rise up. So as we do so, as we're reaching in two different directions here, grounding down into those feet and engaging the legs, we're also rising up from the pelvic floor, the lower belly, the crown of the head, nice and strong, creating a little subtle energy. Also just feeling that strength that comes from within. So let's just take 3 breaths here as we bring awareness to the breath. Maybe you're breathing through the nose, maybe through the mouth, wherever you feel more comfortable. And let's try to make that breath a little bit fuller. Maybe breathing into the chest, maybe even deeper into the belly. And then very slowly breathe in that air all the way out of those lungs, using the belly or the diaphragm to press that air out. One more full breath here. Okay, next breath in. Let's keep those feet grounded as we reach those arms all the way up till you feel those hands connect. And on the breath out, go ahead and lower those hands to your heart. Let's keep our hands connected as we reach back up on the breath in. And on the breath out, we'll reach all the way out and down until you feel the sides of your legs. And then let's inhale, we'll reach back up. Exhaling, hands to your heart. And then nice deep breath in. Once again, we'll inhale and reach, but this time as we exhale, we're gonna reach out to the sides. Let's bend those knees and begin to fold over those legs. Just find a nice deep forward fold, releasing the crown of the head down towards the ground. Maybe even move that head side to side or forward and back. All right, and then deep bend in those knees. Again, grounding down into those feet, especially those big toes. Think about those big toes pressing into the ground as you inhale and rise, and exhaling, hands to your heart. Let's keep moving with our breath. So we inhale and reach those hands back up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Keeping a bend in those knees as you do so. And let's inhale, just lift halfway here. Maybe your hands come to your legs or they can just hover. And then exhale, forward fold. Both hands come to the floor. Let's step those feet back to a downward dog. And in your downward dog, as always, feel free to pause and just walk out those heels a few times. Just bending one knee towards the mat and then the other. As you bend one knee, you can try reaching the opposite heel a little closer to the floor. And then we'll just relax both heels towards the ground. And as we breathe in, let's shift that weight forward into our plank. Lowering to both knees, untucking those toes, and exhale, elbows bend. As we make our way all the way down to the chest and the belly. As we inhale, take a big shoulder roll back and down. Reaching the elbows back, the shoulders back, but try to sweep that heart forward. And then exhaling as you lower back to the mat. Inhaling back up to our knees. As we tuck those toes, we'll exhale, reaching the hips back towards the heels. And then inhale, lifting those hips back up, downward dog. Turning that gaze forward in between your hands, slowly making your way to the front of your mat. Forward fold and inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Deep bend in those knees, grounding down into those feet as you inhale and rise. Bringing those arms all the way up with you. And then exhale, maybe side out through the mouth. So you lower those hands back to your heart. Okay, we're gonna shift our weight into our right foot. Now on that next breath in, take as much time as you need to find your breath here. But then when you feel ready on that next breath in, we're just gonna step our left foot to the back, bending the right knee, and we're gonna open these arms. Nice little heart opener, cactus arms as we bend those elbows. Our palms are facing forward. And maybe even turn that gaze slightly up towards the ceiling. So just a little high lunge here as we open through the heart. So let's do one more breath in here. And then on the breath out, we're gonna step forward as our hands come back to our heart. Switching sides as we shift our weight into the left leg and inhaling, right foot steps back. Opening through the heart, the shoulders, exhaling as we come forward. Now we're gonna move with our breath a few times, beginning to find balance on each side. We're moving as we balance, so that's a whole nother challenge in and of itself. So just go nice and slow so you can begin to feel and notice how the body compensates when we feel a little off balance. Maybe when we shift that weight into one leg or the other. What muscles start to engage, what are reactions, how our body reacts. And just continuing to breathe as you move. Exhaling as you come forward. Inhaling as you step back. They can be little steps or big steps. One more time on each side like this. You can open a little more as you turn that gaze up, reach that heart forward. Exhaling, come back. Okay, once again, we're gonna step our left foot to the back. But this time, as we exhale and step forward, we're going to bring this knee all the way out in front. So instead of bringing your hands to your heart, you can see I'm already wobbly. You can bring your hands to the front of the knee. And then once again, inhale, open as we step back. So we're gonna stay on this left side for 3 breaths. Exhaling as you come forward, drawing that knee to the front. Inhaling as you step back and open. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back, one more time like that. Exhaling as we come forward. Inhaling as we open. Now we're going to add on a little bit more. So as we exhale and bring that knee to the front, this time we're going to pause and hold. So I'm going to turn and face you, but go ahead and stay just as you are. So we've got our hands on the knee here, and just take a moment to notice. I'm a little out of breath. You can also reach out for the wall or the chair, whatever you have nearby you if needed. But let's bring our awareness to that right foot. It's probably a little shaky. It's just your foot trying to use or find as much surface area as it can. But think about grounding down into each one of those toes as well as the heel. So we want to try to center that weight that it is holding. A little bend in that right knee. So we're staying strong through this right thigh. Now check out the hip. Sometimes we like to come out to the side. If you notice that happening, see if we can stand a little taller. Shoulders might be coming back to compensate. If we find that happening, try to bring shoulders right above the hips. We're just gonna hold for 3 more breaths here. If you want to challenge it even further, you can let go of that knee and bring your hands to your heart. But coming back to that breath, like in lots of cases or circumstances, can help to start to calm things down. Okay, next breath in. As you're ready, we're gonna step that left foot to the back one more time. Find that heart opener. Maybe we turn that gaze slightly up, and then exhale, go ahead and come forward onto both feet. Now I know that right leg is probably feeling it a little bit, so feel free to shake it out. Move those legs a little bit. You can roll out the ankle as well. And then as we come back to center, we will shift that weight into our left foot. Let's try the other side. So as we breathe in, we're gonna step our right foot to the back, opening those arms. You can try to squeeze those shoulder blades back behind you. As we breathe out, stepping forward. Inhaling, stay on that right side as we step back, but as you exhale, maybe try lifting your foot or keeping that foot lifted as you bring hands to that right knee. Inhaling as we step back and open. Exhaling, stepping forward. Feel those hands connect with the knee. Again, that physical connection often can help us refocus. All right, one more time here. Well, inhale, stepping back. This time as we exhale and step forward, we're gonna pause and hold here. Starting from the ground up. Noticing that left foot. Now it's fun to do balance on with one side at a time because we often can notice how our 2 sides are different. So just like our hands, our arms, we often have a stronger side. It's the same way with our legs. We often have a stronger side in our legs, so one side might be easier to balance on than the other, and that's totally normal and okay. But that's why we do one side at a time, so we can notice that and work on it. All right, 3 more breaths here. Feel free to bring hands to your heart if you haven't already, if you'd like. Try to stand up a little bit taller. And then on that next inhale, as you are ready, go ahead and step that right foot to the back for one last time. And then exhale, we will step forward and walk out or shake out those legs. Okay, as we bring those feet, both feet back to center, let's once again inhale and reach those arms up. On our exhale, let's lower our hands to our heart. Keeping those hands together, we'll inhale and reach up. And then exhale, bending those knees, swan dive down, forward fold. Nice deep breath in as we lift about halfway. And on the breath out, go ahead and fold back over those legs. Stepping back once again to our downward dog. Walking out those heels if you'd like. Taking a few breaths here to kind of recenter, refocus. And then let's inhale as we come forward to our plank. You can lower to those knees or stay on your toes. Exhaling as you bend those elbows, let's lower about halfway down. And then inhale, lifting through the crown of the head. Grounding down into those hands, just like we do with our feet. Try to press that floor away from you. Drawing those shoulders back. And then on the breath out, we'll engage through the core, reaching those hips back. And inhale as you lift them up. Turning that gaze forward, stepping or hopping your way to the front of your mat. Nice deep breath in, halfway lift. And exhaling, forward fold. Deep bend in those knees, grounding down into those big toes as you inhale and rise. And exhaling, side out through the mouth as you lower those hands back to your heart. Okay, once again, we're going to shift our weight into our right foot, our right leg. Now, a big thing in balance is to find your drishti or your focal gaze, so a spot on the floor to focus on. Preferably a spot that doesn't move. So if you have a mirror in front of you, it doesn't really help to look at yourself in balance because you'll see yourself shaking and that'll throw it off even more. So as you find that spot, just finding that gentle gaze, starting to feel that weight shift over into that right leg. And then as we do so here, instead of drawing our knee forward, we're going to draw our foot back. Now you can stay right here. You can always rest the toes on the floor if you would rather. That's also just working on that balance. Or you can lift that foot back behind you. Maybe with that right hand, we start to reach back until we find our foot. Now again, with balance, you can pause anywhere along the way. So I'll show you all the way through into, we call this dancer. But if you want to pause and hold here, maybe you're holding onto the wall, whatever works for you. If you'd like to continue on, slowly beginning to press the foot into the hand. And as you do so, you might start to notice the upper body tilting or hinging forward. Try to draw that foot away from the body. Left hand, you can reach out for the wall out in front of you. You can reach for the chair or just reach out and up. Again, anywhere along the way, that focal point might shift a little bit as you hinge forward. Just know that as soon as that gaze turns, it often challenges the balance. So we have our engagement through the legs, through the core. We have our focal point. But we always have the breath. Noticing how you are breathing. You can come out of it whenever you need to and come back in or stay out. 3 more breaths here. I know I'm feeling it on that left leg. Again, just check in with the rest of the body. Try to draw that right foot away. And when you're ready, intentionally, slowly try to come out of it as much as possible. Sometimes that's not always possible. Sometimes we just fall, and that's okay. We just continue on. Okay, as we come back to center, let's find or feel both feet on the ground. Maybe bringing those hands back to your heart center. And then this time we will shift our weight into our left foot. Again, try to ground down evenly into those toes and into the heel. A little bend in that left knee. Start to engage through the thigh, through the glute. And then when you're ready, maybe start to reach that right foot back. Maybe you just focus here on lifting and lowering the toes, challenging or building that strength that way. Or you can reach back with that right hand for that foot. So the same hand and foot. Sometimes I get my sides mixed up, so I'm sorry if I confused you there. All right, maybe we stay here. Just focus on grounding down into the foot as we lift tall through the crown of the head, or you can begin to press the foot into the hand as you draw that foot away from the body. Maybe that right or the left arm, reaches forward. Anywhere along the way, whatever works for you here. Maybe you're doing a different balance posture altogether, and that's totally fine. Finding that spot to focus on, feeling that engagement or creating that engagement in the standing leg and in the core, and noticing the breath. 3 key points of our balance. Let's go 3 more breaths, whether you're holding, whether you're moving in and out of this. And whenever you are ready, standing back up, and go ahead and lower both feet back to the floor. And sometimes it feels nice just to shake it all out, especially after we've been working hard on something. Okay, let's go ahead and have a seat on our mats. There's a lot more balance we can do, but we'll save that for another class. So for now, let's just get a nice little lower back stretch as we start to finish or wrap things up. So go ahead and bring those heels to the floor, those toes pointing up and our knees bent. So with those knees bent, we're gonna wrap our arms around our legs, just like you're giving yourself a big hug. So just bringing those arms underneath those legs. Your hands can come to your elbows or forearms or wherever they meet. But keeping those arms connected as you breathe in, we're gonna try to lift the chest, the torso away from those legs. So try to lengthen and straighten through the spine. So we inhale here, and then on the exhale, try to keep that length in the spine as you just start to let those heels slide away from you, or maybe you have to walk them away from you. So we're still connected, just trying to stay nice and long through the spine, and we're using the arms around the legs to help just for a little bit of resistance to take this a little deeper. So when you find that spot where you can feel a little stretch, maybe through the back of the legs or through the lower back, and you just want to pause, try just releasing that chin towards the chest. And then you can relax the shoulders as well. Maybe we soften that area around the eyes, releasing through the jaw. And let's just breathe. About 5 breaths here. You can stay here for as long as you would like, but when you are ready, just slowly uncross those arms first so you can bring your hands to the floor, and then just gently pressing those hands into the floor so you can help walk that torso back up till those hands walk all the way behind the body. And we'll inhale, lifting the heart, drawing those shoulders back and down, and exhale as you come back to center. Okay, thank you for joining me today, having some fun with our balance. As always, if you have a few extra minutes, please lay down on your back, take a little Shavasana for yourself to just practice coming back to the breath. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you next time. Namaste.